I want to discuss with you some of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s testimony yesterday. The point of looking at this is not simply about, oh, look at how wacky Donald Trump's Secretary of Health and Human Services is. That's true. That makes for a perfectly interesting and fine segment, but we all know that. What is critical to understand is that there are people who are in completely over their heads and also have completely abandoned the very principles they told us matter to them. Those are the two themes to keep in mind. And yes, it's wacky, of course, but let's get into it and I think you'll see. Remember when we were warned by the MAGA right wing that the left, Democrats, the Marxists, the whatever, want to microchip us. They want to microchip for tracking purposes the people of the United States. And you had the religious people saying, this is the mark of the beast. You had the libertarians saying that this is government overreach. You had the conspiracy theorists saying this is the strategy of the left in order to something. I don't even really know what. And the mechanisms were, they want you wearing a microchip, you know, these things where you put a microchip in your arm to then tap to pay. That's how they're going to trick you into it. Or they're going to trick you into it by having you get a COVID shot that then puts the microchip inside of your arm. And we very calmly explained to them, why would anyone even need to do that? We all are willingly carrying it around in the form of our mobile devices, put aside for a second that there's no evidence for it or that Bill Gates wants to do it or whatever. But we explained to them, your phone has your location, it has your communications, it has searches that expose your inner thoughts and vulnerabilities and insecurities. Why would you need to do any of that? Well, cut to yesterday. Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said that in his dream vision, within just a few years, everyone will have an even more invasive version of a proverbial microchip. It will be a wearable fitness device, things like Fitbits, fitness watches, the Aura ring, which goes on your finger, whatever, okay? Check out what he said, and then we're going to talk about it.
Diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the MAHA agenda, making America healthy again, and we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Following up.
So wait a second. We're going to put, because Bobby Kennedy Jr. likes the idea, we're going to put our sleep data, our heart rate data, our movement data, how sedentary we are. We're going to put all of that in the cloud for big tech and government too to access it. That's kind of weird because these were the very same people warning us against that when it was being done secretly, we were told, by Bill Gates and Joe Biden and Big Pharma and Obama and Democrats. It was bad then. But when it's Donald Trump's Director of Health and Human Services actually saying it, we're supposed to say, cool, that sounds really good. When this could be used by government to track us, it could be used by health insurance companies to try to deny us care or raise rates and say, you don't get 10,000 steps a day. You don't even get 4,000 steps a day. You're riskier. You're only getting 5 hours of sleep a night. You're riskier. We're not going to insure you. All of these things, now they would be okay with because it was bullshit to begin with. That's really what's at the core of this. And by the way, wearable, what about every American being able to afford their prescription drugs or not having to choose between their prescriptions and groceries or childcare 1 week, or every American has a primary care doctor, never mind is able to go and get an appointment or afford the copay. What about those as goals? But the dream of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is that we will all have wearable fitness devices. Now, I don't have a problem with these devices. I wear one, okay? I want to know how many active minutes did I get a week. I'm trying to get 150 moderate to high intensity minutes of exercise every single week. The device gives me that information. I want to make sure I'm getting 10,000 steps a day. The device gives me that information. It's not against the devices. I think the devices are useful. But absent basic, dealing with the social determinants of health, are our communities safe? What about air pollution, like Dr. Zach Rubin told us last week? What about simply, are you able to get unprocessed foods in your community? Do you understand what that means? All of these things. And Bobby Kennedy Jr. has a dream. He wants people to have a wearable device. All right. And this wasn't it for RFK Jr. Let's go to the next moment from this. For weeks now, discussions have focused on Trump's big, beautiful bill and its potential Medicaid cuts. However, a far more dangerous, overlooked provision in the bill exists. At ground.news/Pacman, you'll discover what MAGA lawmakers quietly included, a provision that could block federal judges from enforcing court orders unless a bond is posted. And if this passes, it could render Trump above the law. This is a critical detail. It's largely unknown, and it really exemplifies this flood the zone strategy of the Trump administration. Now, this is why ground news is essential. It really is the best way to uncover buried information by showing you not just the story, but its origins across the political spectrum. You can see bias ratings, credibility scores, coverage timelines, and their browser extension also will flag potential bias when you're on a news site, sort of guiding you to more reliable sources for fact checking. Ground News gives you a smarter and more reliable way to stay informed. I'm partnering with them to give you 40% off their unlimited Vantage plan, which makes it just $5 a month. Visit ground.news/Pacman, scan the QR code, or use the code Pacman in the app to start. The link is in the description.